This is Andy Pearl off Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm joined by Adam Smith out here in Las Vegas. Adam, how you doing?
I'm good, Andy. Very good indeed. Yeah, got in yesterday. Pleasure to be back at the MGM. Love it here. So many great fights, so many great memories, and another big heavyweight fight in store for Saturday night. Deontay Wilder back in Vegas after almost 5 years away, I think. So. Yeah, it's going to be great to see how he deals with Ruiz-Ortiz second time around. We were there in Brooklyn for the first Fire Fest. Can Ruiz-Ortiz pick up on that, or as Wilder sort of going to go from strength to strength and deal with it more ruthlessly this time? It's a fascinating one in a huge heavyweight picture. Obviously, 2.5 weeks' time we're in Saudi for the biggest rematch of the year with Ruiz and Joshua. So yeah, it's a great hors d'oeuvre, this one.
I do want to ask you, just before we stick with this fight, you just mentioned being back here in Vegas. You've obviously covered many fights out here, many fights across America. Do you still get that same feeling when you come out here? Do you still feel that it's as special as ever when you travel around to these places?
Absolutely. I mean, you and I know we love the York or Bethnal Green as much as any venue. And yeah, we've been lucky in Britain lately to go to the O2 a lot, of Manchester Arena and Wembley, the Principality, some of the biggest stadiums. But there is something pretty special about coming back to America. Yeah, Deontay's happy, isn't he? It's a great place. It's long had so much fight history. Whether you're in New York at the Garden, or you're in LA at the Staples Center, or you're in Miami, Chicago, Boston. But I think Vegas. Yeah, when I was growing up and watching the likes of Hagler and Hearns and Leonard and Duran, all the fights were here, and I was. Very privileged to come here early. I saw Eric Morales a lot here, Marco Antonio Barrera, Mike Tyson. Obviously, it became Floyd Mayweather's domain. Ricky Hatton had many forays over here, and so much success with the British fight fans. Amir Khan, of course, fought a lot here. We had terrific fights like Corrales Castillo. Yeah, split between the sort of Mandalay Bay and the MGM. Most of them, all the Thomas and Mack. Lennox Lewis, obviously, unifying the title against Evander Holyfield at Thomas and Mack. We just celebrated that 20 years, back in 1999. So a lot of fond memories here. This is the arena where poor Frank Bruno got taken out by Mike Tyson when he lost his world heavyweight title, where Nassim Hamed came crashing down against Marco Antonio Barrera, and some amazing times that have happened here. Juan Manuel Marquez fighting here. I've loved it, and yeah, it's a very special place to come. There's a different feel about a Vegas fight week. Everything's sort of under one roof or a couple of roofs, so everyone's together, everyone's talking about the fight, the media are close, the fighters are around. You see the different camps sort of wandering around the casinos, people are talking about it, and as the week builds on, Thursday, Friday, more and more fans come in. There's always a few Brits, even if there's not Brits fighting, they love it here. So it's a great buzz, and I love people watching, and that's a great part of it. But yeah, just to be close to the fighters, and I think Deontay Wilder will put on a real show Saturday night, and really looking forward to seeing Ruiz-Ortiz, the slimmed down version, see what he does, and Leo Santa Cruz, of course, and many other good fighters. So yeah, it's as special as ever.
Hopefully Saturday does deliver another special night for us. And to loop back to it, Wilder-Ortiz, how do you kind of see the fight playing out between the pair? Do you expect it to be similar to the first bout, or do you expect it to be different?
Rematches often go the same way, but they're often not the same, if you know what I mean. So you look actually in 2 weeks' time at AJ and Ruiz, and some people say that could go the same in an immediate rematch, but it could go very differently if AJ uses his physical attributes better. This one, I wonder if Ruiz-Ortiz missed his opportunity. It was he probably caught Deontay slightly unaware. I think Wilder probably looked past him a little bit and thought, he was old and slow, and I think that he wasn't great that night. Deontay, he showed a champion's heart to come through the storm, obviously, and get the knockout win, which is what you can always do. He didn't have a great night against Tyson Fury, but he found a punch at the end that that Tyson shouldn't have recovered from. So you never know with Deontay. But I sort of feel it was a terrific fight, first and foremost, a magical fight at the Brooklyn Barclays Center, and it was brilliant. 20 months on, can it be as good again? It can be. Ortiz is in terrific shape, but he hasn't got any younger, and I think Wilder, coming off the Brazil win and knowing that Fury is out there, I think he'll make sure this time. I don't think he'll take too many risks here. I think if he sees the opening, he'll go for it, but I think that he could just cut him down to size within maybe 5 or 6 rounds, something like that. But you never know. You don't know. 2 big punches in a ring. Ortiz, nothing to lose. Southpaw, skillful. Wilder can knock anyone out at any time. It is one of those. One of them will get knocked out, I think, and don't blink. But I think Wilder will do probably a more professional job this time round. But yeah, let's hope it's as fun while it lasts.
And just to move away from this card and back to Liverpool, where there's another card which you guys are hosting, is that the right word to say? You've got the broadcast to it, I should say. Callum Smith, John Ryder, your thoughts on that one, Adam?
It's a fantastic weekend for us because on Friday night we have the Golden Contract, our new tournament that we're doing with MTK and Matchroom, which is fantastic. Really, really excited about the next weight category there. So yeah, gutted in a way. It's very difficult to be over here and missing all the stuff over there, or vice versa. You can't be in 2 places at once. I've got Matt Macklin here, but everyone's very excited back home. Andy Clark and Johnny Nelson and all the gang back there, and in Liverpool we're going to have Tony Bellew and Anthony Croller and Andy Lee, and there's loads of talent up there in Liverpool. It's a big night for Callum Smith. We're desperate to get him to Anfield, maybe for early June. That's a big dream of all of ours. But he's got to deal with John Ryder first, and John Ryder's on great form. He had a terrific win here, actually, again when he fought on the Canelo Jacobs card. Whether he's quite big enough, or maybe in the end good enough to beat Callum Smith remains to be seen. But I think he'll give it a real good go. I think it's a tough fight for Callum, because Callum will be looking to that big Anfield showcase against the likes of Billy Joe, or maybe Canelo even, or Golovkin or Chris Eubank Jr. But he's got to deal with John Ryder first, who's a very, very good fighter. He's shown it, John. He's shown cameos of brilliance. It's whether he can sustain it for a world title fight, against a really good fighter in Callum Smith. So you've got to fancy Callum to come through. But yeah, it's a big night in Liverpool, prime time Callum Smith, and then over here for Deontay and Ortiz. Yeah, it's a super weekend on Sky Sports. Next weekend we've got Monaco, and then we're out in Saudi for the big one.
We've seen Caleb Plant here today, another world champion in the super middleweight division. In your opinion, if you could pick 2 fighters who are the world champions in the division to face each other, who would it be and why?
Yeah, maybe Plant. I don't know. I mean, I think, to be honest, I want Callum Smith to fight either Billy Joe Saunders or Gennady Golovkin. And then you could say Canelo, I don't think, will come to Liverpool, so I think that's probably out. I know Billy Joe wants Canelo, and after Billy Joe's sort of flat performance last time, he might have got that Canelo fight here, funnily enough, in May. You never know. But I think if you're looking at Callum Smith at Anfield, I think you want to entice someone like a Golovkin over, or it should be a home fight like Billy Joe Saunders or Chris Eubank. So there's so much around that super middleweight division, and I'm a believer that Callum will end up a light heavyweight. I'm actually quite surprised he hasn't got there already. I think he's got the build, the physique to do that, and I think it will be sooner rather than later. So I don't think he's going to be hanging around super middleweight for too long. But yeah, you mentioned them, and Ramirez and Plant, and some great fighters out in super middleweight. So yeah, good fights for Callum out there. But I think, as I said, one of those others. But he's got to get through John Ryder first, and then he'll decide, back in the next year, whether he wants to mix it with the light heavies, which is a fantastic division.
And finally, I just wanted to get a word on as well. I saw a lot of people unhappy over social media on the Ruiz-Joshua price point for the pay-per-view being moved up to $24.95. What was the decision and the thinking behind doing so for the rematch?
Look, we always think of our customers, Andy, and it's these things are difficult. No one likes to put prices up, but we put price down for KSI Logan Paul. That was under a tenner, and people have different complaints about that, whether it's worthy of being a top of a bill, etc. But you've got to look at the market. It's a business. You've got to look at who's going to subscribe. Fundamentally, the most important thing for me is our customers and our fans. And I've been trying very hard this last sort of 2 or 3 months to provide as much as I can on Sky Sports. We were here for Porter and Spence in LA. We're bringing the Wilder-Ortiz fight. We've had Inoue and Donaire. We've had Canelo. The fight against Kovalev. So, we've had a lot of stuff on Sky Sports, a lot of stuff outside of the great schedule we've got from Matchroom, who've put some terrific shows on in Newcastle, Manchester with Casey Taylor, and Liverpool now, Monaco as well. So I think, with the Golden Contracts as well, our Sky Sports and Sky Box Office sort of package together has been the most powerful in a number of years. I think it's been a fantastic end to the year. It's not nice, of course it's not nice when prices are changed, but we look at what we charge for for each individual event. We look at what we charge for KSI and Logan Paul. That's what we felt was right. And this is a huge step up from that. It's an elite event. It's the biggest fight of the year, and it's the fight everyone wants to see. It's UK prime time. So all of these factors go in. But of course, we don't want to do it. It's not something that anyone likes doing for the customers. So I can understand people out there being disappointed, but I'm hoping that they will. And I would say that the pay-per-view here, Fox pay-per-view, I think retails at sort of $75, maybe more. That's £65-70 in modern sort of exchange rates. And so £25, while a slight step up, is not anywhere near what they charge in America. So yeah, it's a difficult question to answer, but all I can say is that we really consider our customers. We think very hard about it, and we treat each individual event as it should be. And I think AJ Ruiz 2 is the fight everybody wants to see this year. It's a massive step up from two YouTubers fighting at the Staples Center. However much that was exciting and had a big market for that. And we saw huge numbers streaming and online, and it totally justified that decision to do that from a business point of view. It is a business, so it's a disappointing one, and I understand the question. I understand people's gripes out there, but I hope everyone watches it. It's a fantastic fight. It is UK prime time, and we hope that we won't be doing this too often or anymore, but you just don't know. You've got to take each fight, each event separately, and who knows what we'll get in 2020 if we get the massive blockbusters like AJ and Wilder and AJ and Fury. Will we stay at where we are? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but hopefully it won't be too expensive for the fans. That's the important thing.
That was something I was going to ask you. You've just mentioned the possible fights with AJ, Wilder, Fury, etc. Those price points may be different to what AJ Ruiz is. Some fans over social media again just kind of maybe looking at the Ruiz-Joshua prices, thinking you may be testing the waters for further down the line in case prices may go up again, just to see how good the numbers are with the boys. Is that something that's maybe crossed the Sky minds, just to see?
It certainly hasn't crossed my mind. I don't think so. I think, as I said, it's we had to decide what we were going to retail the KSI Logan Paul fight at. That was decided, and sort of no one really complained about the fact we were charging £10 for that, or less than £10. People complained about the fact they were topping a bill. The fight fans, I can understand that, because it was different, but there was as I said, a real market for it. We saw incredible eyeballs online, on YouTube, on the streaming all week, on the weigh-in, etc. You and I know that there is a huge audience out there for that, and that's what we price it at. This is priced at what it is. Anything in the future will be looked at on a separate basis, but there's no reason that things will be more expensive or less expensive. It depends on what fights there are, what events they are. Ultimately, it's it's about what is right at the time, and obviously, so look at bus and tube fares and everything else that go up every year. Sometimes things have to sort of escalate because that's a business decision. But I, as a fight fan, very much hope that that's not the case and that we keep prices down to as low as we can do.
Well, Adam Smith, I've kept you for long enough, and I know you're going to have a few other commitments now with Sky, so I appreciate your time. Thanks for speaking to myself and Boxing Social, and I'll catch up with you later in the week.
No problem, Andy. Cheers.